Hi, Lonnie Hanzon here. Today in the front yard, where we're in front of our white demo tree. Half of this is a tree and half of this is concrete. But I thought this was the easiest place to start a discussion about wrapping trees with lights, because you'll be able to see the lights very clearly. I have with me some handy cutters. This, which is twist tie. You can buy twist tie that is clear with the silver wire. We use this a lot to help us attach things to trees and make temporary connections. It's coated in plastic, so we're not invading the tree with any metal that could rust. And then of course I've got my handy GKI LED string lights. These are 4 inches on center. These happen to be brown wire. You can get them in brown wire or green wire. Obviously brown or green works on natural trees, blends in nicely, but you'll be able to see the contrast on our little demo tree. The first thing that I usually do is get good power, or your main power source, up to the crotch of the tree. Now, again, this is an unusual model tree. Normally the crotch of the tree will be at 6 to 8 feet. But what you want to do is get a good source of power up into the crotch, and if you need to, secure it. So I'm going to just use a little bit of twist tie, wrap it around this branch, and be able to just tie. If you're working in a particularly wet area, a place that gets a lot of rain or is going to be soaked in water, we suggest that you use a combination of dielectric grease, which is D-I-E electric, dielectric grease, or silicone spray at the joints, at the places that you're plugging in, to try to keep moisture out of your connections. There is a small fuse inside of the plug of each string. So I'm going to just start by plugging in my first string. I like to light live, which means that the power is on. Our only OSHA requirements say that you cannot use an aluminum ladder when you're lighting live. You can only use a fiberglass ladder. This sort of varies by the person that's installing. I don't have much of a trunk here, and I normally would start by showing you how to go down a trunk and back up. So instead, I'm just going to pick a branch. I think I'll take this one and show you the basic wrapping of the tree. I'm going to put away my cutters. I don't need those. We want an overall nice pattern on the tree, and so you can sometimes use your hand to tell you what kind of space you're getting. And when you come to a branch, you want to sometimes leave some extra lighting, because you'll find out later that you need to often fill this area in. So I'm going to come around here, and then I'm going to jump over to this branch. You can catch up with me. Okay, so this is a 50 light string. People use 50s, 35s, 100s, 150s. Obviously, 50s or 70s is what I prefer. Now, what I'm going to do when I come to a new set of strings, I'm so used to doing this I didn't even talk about it, is that I wrap the plug around and plug it into itself, so that we've got a nice tight connection. A little too tight there. There we go. So you've got a nice knotted connection that's not going to errantly get loose on you. It also takes up any extra cord if they've left you a little extra lead. Now, it used to be that you could, with incandescent sets, you could only light 6 strings end to end. That was kind of the rule. Once you had 6, you had to start a new string. That's not the case with LEDs. Check the packaging, of course, but with most LEDs, you can put at least 20 to 40 strings in a single line before you really need to start a new line. You want to keep your stack plugs to a minimum in the crotch of the tree. So as you can see, I went to the end of the branch and then just reversed and came right back down, and I'm twisting them in as tightly as I did on the way going up. So sometimes your spacing is going to get a lot tighter as the branches get smaller. We usually stop whenever we hit foliage. Once a branch is beginning to get into foliage that you might mess up, that's usually where we stop. In this case, it's obviously not got any, so we're going all the way to the ends. Around areas that have forks, you want to make sure that you have plenty of light so you don't have blank spots. This one, we might throw in a little extra line there. And then we're going to just follow this line opposite. Okay, now one thing about squirrels, I get asked a lot about squirrels. Yes, there seems to be a center and off-gassing from new lights that squirrels seem to find irresistible. There's just something about the smell. That's why we keep our lights in plastic tubs, in nice, tight, sealed tubs in storage. And then when you're in a tree, some people find that the squirrels go for these rectifiers. For some reason, there must be an energy or something around the rectifier that they love to chew right around what we call the hot dog or the rectifier. In some cases, you can protect that up. In other cases, you might be getting bite through because you're hiding an entrance or an exit to a hidey hole for a squirrel. In those cases, kind of see if you have one place that keeps on getting cut, go back, see if you're impeding an entrance or an exit to a nest, and maybe try to avoid that area. We've had some luck in that direction. They usually only chew through one wire at a time. If they chew through both wires at the same time, then they usually don't do it again. So we're working on the trunk now, this very, very squatty trunk. I'm cutting off some twist tie in some pieces that I think is going to come in handy. Just some little twisty ties. I usually put them around my belt loop to keep them handy. So we've got the string, and what we've done is we've taken a few spots and gone down to the ground and used a lawn pen. This is a lawn pen, just a little. This is usually used for fabric, where you're when you're doing landscaping. And we've done a few verticals throughout, so that will give us a place to attach using twist tie when we go around the trunk if the angle is too difficult. So I'm just going to grab another set of lights. We've snowballed all of these, with the male out. Make our little knot. And now we can start going around the trunk and try not to look at the line. Try to look at the evenness of the lights. We're going to go down. Now in this case, like right over here, this is a good place to grab a twist tie. Twist it in. Sometimes we call this comb overs or a hair club for men. You have to use little twist tie here and there to get things to stick, get the hair to cover. Stay fairly even, stay at about that 4-inch spacing. Again, I've got an angle down here. So, we went down the trunk. We attached to the verticals where we needed to with twist tie in order to keep the lights as evenly as possible. Where we had big trunks, we zigzagged back and forth using the lawn pens. You can't do this in really wet areas where there's a lot of standing water or rain. It won't work. In Colorado you can do that because snow tends to be a lot drier. But anyway, we went down one way and then came back up. So this is, you know, obviously this is not real pretty in the daylight, brown on white. We'll give you a shot of it at night to see how even this looks and how pretty this looks. But that's the basics in wrapping a tree. You wrap it. That's a wrap. So here is the tree wrapped in light string. And as you can see, it doesn't look like much during the day, but at night it's beautiful.